woke up, soaked from a bad dream. I've been sweating like crazy. Got up, skin stuck to the bed sheets. Open window for a cold breeze. I have nothing to eat in my kitchen. Old coffee and yesterday's pizza. Listen, I promised to clean my floor, but I have no interest to fulfill my chores today. As long as the sun is shining and the weather is showing its face, just like me, it's been hiding. People painting the world with its rays. So I skip on my obligations, like so many times before. Reach for the door out to reclaim my faith in the making. God, I am here for the taking. Oh, it's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high.
I had it with this shit, yo, I gave it all I got, but it seems like it's not enough. Now I'm sitting there watching all these bills piling up like, damn, I need a change for the better. Scratch that, I need a change for the cheddar. Gotta get up, 9 to 5, have a regular life. With the knowledge knowing that I'm not a regular guy. See, I'll be more than me's a regular. I like Optimus Prime with my spectacular mind, composing these delicate rhymes. But I'ma design a different future for me. I had a good run with it, but it just ain't what it used to be. And truthfully, I trust nobody in this industry. They only come around when they want something like a fucking leash. But I'm cool, mama didn't raise no fools, so I'ma do what I do and chunk up the dues. And I'll be back in the booth when the stars align. But meanwhile,
it's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high. It's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high. It's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high.
What's going on, YouTube and Facebook? This is Matter of Opinion, and I'm your boy WallzP, and I got my partner in crime.
It's your boy Ray the Dawn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So those tuning in, please hit that like button. Definitely subscribe if you haven't yet.
Hit that bell for notifications.
Definitely. All right, so you ready for this this debate that we got going on here?
Oh man, I was born ready.
All right, so yeah, we taking it to the roots, the way Matter of Opinion actually started, where it was, me and my partner here debating on certain topics and everything like that. So the topic that we're gonna debate today is about the police who they believe use excessive force in the Walmart in Syracuse, New York. So your stance on it is what exactly?
100% they use excessive force.
Okay. And for me, I believe they were perfectly within their right or whatever. Now, for those who are tuned in, stay tuned because we're definitely gonna drop updated video on the Mr. Mathis down in South Jersey or whatever, who was having racist rants and everything like that. Matthew, I should say. Edward Matthew, who was given racist, he went on a racist rant to his neighbors and everything like that. So we're, updating everybody on what that situation is. So stay tuned for that video. All right. So as far as your belief that the police didn't use excessive force, and for those who don't know what we're talking about,
Use excessive force, you mean?
all right. So I'm gonna play the video for the viewers so that they can see exactly what we're talking about here. So Chrome tab. All right, so here we go.
This video of a July 4th incident at the East Syracuse Walmart is part of a 15-minute video put out by the DeWitt Police Department. It shows two officers, Officer Corey Bike and Officer Rory Spain, in an altercation with two women. Officer Bike swinging a woman to the ground and Officer Spain punching another woman after it appears she attempted to bite him. Spain has been placed on paid administrative leave as the department investigates the incident.
Conclusions about whether the actions of the officers are consistent with department policies and the law will not be made until all the facts are known and the investigation is complete.
DeWitt police say around 4:55 p.m. July 4th, officers were dispatched for 5 to 6 people fighting in the store, with employees being threatened and people being pepper sprayed. DeWitt Police PIO Lieutenant Jerry Pace says this part of the video shows the use of pepper spray from one of the two.
All right, did you see that? Did you see the woman right here who went to pepper spray? As I back it up in slow motion. So that woman right there went to
Jerry
pepper
Pace
spray.
says this part of the video shows the use of pepper spray from one of the two women later arrested.
Fine. They charged my sister though. They disrespected my sister.
Those two women are Tajani Bird, the pregnant woman in the white dress, and Tyriana Edmonds, the woman who was hit.
Show me what democracy looks like.
With the 15-minute video released on Facebook, it's making the rounds across social media with 32,000 views as of Friday night. In response, Rebirth SYR demonstrated outside of the department Friday.
And I'm going to demonstrate. If somebody's cut, I can control him easily. Just like this. Just like this. His whole body.
Comments on the video highlight a major divide between how the officers' actions are perceived. A divide so intense it made its way from behind the computer screen to real life at the protest.
Back like this.
Let's go.
Why are you trying to get in my friend's face?
Rebirth SYR co-founder Hassan Bloodworth says the family of both women are pursuing legal action.
All right, so that's pretty much the gist of the video or whatever. All right. So, do you want to look at the other video too, or that shows a different angle, or
You could play the other video. Let them get another angle real quick.
all right? So here's the other angle of said video where it's going to show you a big difference in what the news and the media was trying to, show to the public. All right, so let me display this. So let me fast forward it to when.
She really just, I got 90 and
I gotta back it up some. All right, here we go.
You don't know the rape and shit and everything else. Supposedly there was a mention of me. There's other females that were fighting. But it's Walmart,
like she really just, I got 90 and bitch. No, you did. You can't see anything. What you gonna fucking do right now? They killed my sister, hurt my sister. I didn't kill my sister. Let me grab her. Why is that? Why not doing that?
Back off.
No, get off my sister. Get off my sister.
Back off.
Come here. Leave him.
Back off.
Leave him. You're making my daughter.
Back off.
Back off.
Back off right now.
Sir. Why did you do that in front of kids?
Back off.
Don't touch me.
Back off. You're about to get the same shit. Back off.
Leave him. I'm black with you. I'm black. It's okay. Let him talk to me. It's okay. Go ahead. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. Go ahead. That's all right. You can talk to me. It's fine. They charged my sister though.
Okay.
They disrespected my
Can I figure
sister.
this out, please?
You can talk to me.
When I walk up,
Mama.
and you're going aggressive towards them.
They trying to charge my sister.
We're gonna walk out to the car and we're gonna figure this out. You're just being detained at this point.
What you want to detain me for?
You hear the key words, right? You're just being detained at this point, not arrested, detained.
Okay.
Right now, harassment.
Why should wise? The one that got sprayed with me. Because they jumped my sister just 2 days ago. They hurt my sister. They just hurt my sister. They just jumped my sister is a month pregnant. My sister is pregnant. My sister is pregnant. What? The other girl got mixed. They blind because they east or they white.
Hey, hold on.
So you're hurting my arm.
Hey, stop pulling away.
I'm not pulling away. I got beat by cops before. I'm not pulling away from you. I'm black.
We're gonna go to the office.
Oh, they're gonna jump me? Wow.
Let's go to the office.
Let me fast forward it a little bit.
I'm gonna leave. All right. No, my sister is pregnant.
Okay.
My sister is pregnant. No!
Okay, stop.
My sister is pregnant. She is pregnant. I'm gonna leave. All right. No, my sister's pregnant. No, my daughter is right here. Get off of me. Get the fuck off of me. I don't care. If you're a dog, get the fuck off of me.
Behind your back.
Get off of me.
You're gonna get on the
Get off of me. I'm pregnant. Get off.
Stop.
My daughter is right here. You can't be seen. Get the fuck off of me. Get off of me. Get off of me. All right.
Put your hands behind your back now. Put your hands behind your back at this point.
Fast forward it a bit. All right. So they got her to the ground and everything. So let's continue watching.
Hold up. Before we even continue, please note that he did slam the woman in the dress that was pregnant onto the ground. That's a very important key factor.
It is. Let me see if I can make it capture that. It didn't show.
I think because it cuts off when he slams. And please note that his hand is pressing on her stomach area.
All right. All right, so we got the gist of this, right? He's on her back and everything like that. She's trying to fight. So now we're gonna take it when they're going to escort him out the building. So he has her pinned down to the ground. Pinned down, okay.
Yo, that's fucked up.
And that invoked the punch.
But notice that he punch underneath her chin, like towards her neck area.
He just threw the punch.
That's what that looked like. It looked like
he just threw the punch, and depending on the trajectory, whatever, if she's moving, then it's gonna connect on the neck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now that we covered the videos and everything like that, what is your take on everything that happened? Because you're saying the cops used excessive force. So why do you think that way?
Well, first of all, they definitely did use excessive force.
Okay.
First of all, given the lady that was arrested, the first woman, all right, she willingly accepted to be cuffed, right? When a person is cuffed, you are in full control. And as far as the second woman in the white dress, the officer didn't need to approach that woman. even if it was under the pretext of, okay, they were involved in a fight, under those terms, all parties have to be arrested by New York state law and
Okay.
by the police handbook. So I feel as though, for the point where that officer went towards the lady with the white dress and then try to force her to come under arrest without even, and the fact that he knew that she was pregnant violates a lot of things. Even in the police handbook, there's actually a famous case, actually. Um, if I could remember it off the top of my head just now, I'll
See if
tell
you
you.
could look it up. See if you could look it up on your phone or whatever. But
Yeah.
while you look it up, here's my thing with it. The first thing that you said was the officer should have arrested all parties. He clearly
Mhm.
said, I'm detaining you. The reason why he said he was detaining her was because of the simple fact that you got a call that there's something going on. You get there and you see a group of people being the aggressor. So the ones that are being the aggressor, you're gonna look to detain them. And he didn't say, like I said, he didn't say, I'm gonna arrest you. We're gonna sit in the car, whatever, yada yada, because he saw the situation was hostile. So now, when he went to detain the other woman, the one who was pregnant, that's when she started, resisting and everything, and things turned violent. Now, I'm gonna play something that's straight from the horse's mouth
Mhm.
that is going to make my case, which is an episode I did with a cop that can, break this thing down, line verbatim, what the rules and regulation is. Let me see.
Go ahead.
My good old buddy Strategic. So since I'm the DJ, I'll drop that track.
Right, whatever it is, you have to comply. I've seen videos where you would see comply, and if you don't come from you, that you have to lawfully give, even if you're not detained. You
Oh man, hold on.
have a duty because that officer doesn't have a lawful reason to stop you. But when you are detained, or when that officer is lawfully requesting something from you that you have to lawfully give, even if you're not detained, you have a duty by law to comply. It is not your choice. You have a duty to comply. And if you don't comply, then that officer now has to use whatever avenues in the law to make you comply, whether that is taking you into custody, writing you a ticket, whatever it is. You have to comply. I've seen videos where you would see an officer going back and forth with a civilian or whatever, and I guess since the civilian got under the officer's skin, it then escalates to, I'm going to arrest you, put your hands behind your back, you're being detained. You get what I'm saying? Right. So,
and remind you, this is an officer that's in New York, and this took place in New York. The video
Right.
at Walmart.
How does a situation like that, how do you go from a back and forth banter to now you're being detained? All right, so that officer, without knowing which specific video we're talking about, because there are so many. Yeah. That officer, if they're clearly arresting that person because that person got under their skin, that officer is wrong. They're acting unlawfully, but you still have to comply because you don't know if they're acting lawfully because the law gives them that deference. See, the law doesn't want civilians questioning police officers every step of the way because what that does is it interferes with police officers doing their duty. But the law gives civilians recourse. The recourse is, all right, I have you on camera because we're talking about ones that's on camera. And of course, we know a lot happens off camera that never comes to light. And that's sad. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. But we're talking about the ones that's on camera because that's the easiest way. So we're going to do easy, right? Yeah. It's on camera that I clearly got under your skin and you're detaining me for no reason. You know what that is? That's lawsuit. That's one of your recourses. You know what that is? That's filing complaints against that officer that could get that officer disciplined, whether that be fired, suspended, or whatever. That's your recourse. That is what your lawmakers have put into effect to protect you from the tyranny of bad officers. But when you go ahead and you start resisting and you start winning the fight, you now justify that officer's action even though they started out unlawfully. And my question now is, once you start resisting and reacting that matter, that makes you kind of lose your potential lawsuit, so to speak. it because it's so complicated. Yeah, it's hard to say with definitively whether that's the case. What I can say is it makes things complicated. A good example is if somebody punches you, lawfully you have a right to punch them back to defend yourself. But if somebody punches you in your chest and you're a mixed martial artist, and then you start pummeling them about the face, their teeth all over the place, their eyes all over the place, and they're no longer fighting back, you now become the aggressor via the law. You now get charged with a felony assault 2 charge, and that person either gets charged with nothing or violation, which is not a crime, even though they started the fight. You became the aggressor because what you did was worse than what initially happened. So if I say, cross the street because this is a crime scene, and you say, no, I know my rights.
I want to get to that
can lawfully record here, and you're 100% correct. And I say, no, get across the street. And you say, F you, cop, and all that stuff. And now I unlawfully say, you know what, I'm going to arrest you. But now while I'm trying to arrest you, you're fighting me and you're reaching for my gun and I shoot you. Did I unlawfully arrest you in the first place? Yes. But is you reaching for my gun a worser thing than me unlawfully arresting you? And am I justified in shooting you for you reaching my gun? You understand? The roles kind of flipped. Even though you were in the right, you became in the bad. That's why the smartest thing to do is just comply. What is your take on mostly all of that?
I'm trying to get to a point where he breaks down the
police officer did.
Give
if they're
that's
still
because he broke it down like what the police can do.
Fight, and you started the fight, and I'll shoot them and get the devil. The jury, I believe, it was self-defense. But there's a bias that's too heavily.
I can't find it exactly, but
you said something in your video earlier I found very interesting, and I feel like we need to address that. So often when police
I can't find it, so I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it right there.
People always say, "Well, if I did that, this what
the
happened."
point that he was trying to make was, hey, if you punch a cop, then a cop can use a baton. If you use a baton, then a cop could use a gun. So pretty much whatever you do, the officer can do a step above whatever it is that you're doing.
Well,
so
if the
lady was resisting, then he had resisting and swinging her arms, which she clearly was pushing the officer, the lady in the white. Then by law, he has the right to slam her on the ground in a effort to detain her.
Let me actually stop you there, because did you know? Actually, in January 29th, the NYPD policy on handling pregnant women was updated because of a lawsuit that they actually suffered, which they ended up having to pay a woman who went through a similar circumstance $610,000.
But what happened to the officer?
The officer was I think he was put on temporary leave or without pay.
But he still has his job, right?
He still has his job, but it in a situation where a pregnant woman is involved, it clearly states in the NYPD manual hold up, let me read it to you real quick.
Okay.
Let me read it to you real quick. Okay. Rules for handling pregnant women under arrest. The revision of the police patrol guideline prohibits the use of shackles on pregnant women. It instead requires that the woman be escorted by a supervisor.
Okay.
Meaning his job was not to touch that woman. His job was to call a supervisor, and then the supervisor would have had to make a decision going forward whether to try to detain her or to call medical services and have her escorted.
So let me ask you this, because I want to know key factors in your point that you're making. What was the woman's reaction that they were detaining? Like, what was she doing? Was she fighting and resisting? Like, what was her actions?
Well, I mean, given he approached her, but even self, everybody was saying the other black chick was the one that was doing the act, right?
Act as in what?
As in a Mason, correct?
Okay.
Right. Even in the video, you can hear the witnesses blame the one black chick. Okay, so you legally have no reason to approach this woman in the first place. Legally, you have no reason. If all the witnesses are saying, "Hey, that chick is the one that maced this lady and started the confrontation,"
But yeah, it is. But
that's one
yeah,
thing. That's one thing.
I get where you're coming from. But
Until
listen, at that point, he was just going to detain her. Like I said, they never said we're going to arrest you. They were saying
right,
we're going to detain you. Now,
right.
here's this, because I understand the scenario that you're giving, but the main question that I want to know is, in that case that you're talking about, what was that woman's reaction? Was
Oh,
she
see,
resistant? What was
she
she
did
doing?
resist. She did resist. In
Okay,
that
like,
in that in that particular case, she did resist.
break the scenario down to me, because I need to know. I need to hear details so I can know exactly like what went on.
Give me a second. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
And so we got a comment from Erica. It says the other woman was going through labor at the time she was in shackles. So that's, if that's the case, that
Mhm.
is a completely different situation for being pregnant and going in labor. So
What?
that right there debunks your argument, because if a person is being whatever hostile to an officer, by law they can take whatever methods possible to
But
do that.
regardless enough, the NYPD's policy on handling pregnant women was updated in January 29th, the
You said
beginning of
what?
this
It was
year.
updated in January
January 20,
29th?
20 correct.
Like I said, that I gotta know if the determining factor is if the person is in labor. Does it count as if the person's in labor, or are they pregnant? So that's the fine details that I need to know. And even let's just say for the sake of argument that
Mm.
they did use excessive force on the woman in white. The other woman, that's not excessive force on her.
No, that's not. I'm not saying for the other
You know
woman,
what
but
I'm saying?
the woman
Yeah.
in white definitely, because
And when you look at that video, the black guy who was like simulating, look, I got you, you're handcuffed, I can control you. The guy was sitting perfectly still. So of course you can control a person perfectly still. But when you got somebody who's kicking stuff off the shelf, even when they knocked her to the ground, she still was kicking and screaming. So how are you gonna, get detained? And then when she went to bite, by at that point, all bets are off. Even when she was detaining, all bets were off. But when she went to bite, all bets were off.
but my thing is, and you're arguing a good point there that she was fighting back, but on a daily basis, NYPD responds to a number of cases where they have people with mental disorders that fight them back, yet they're able to handle them in the same, not a better manner, actually a better manner than and they fight back even more. So
Let me ask you this, because clearly in that video it was one cop handling her at the time. When you're talking about people with mental illness, are you talking about a group of cops or one cop?
one
Because to my
cop.
knowledge, when I see one cop, they make sure they back away from somebody with mental illness and wait till backup come, because they don't know what this person is capable of, unless they had no idea that the person had a mental health issue.
So going with that logic, right?
Okay.
Why not call your, why, you know, the woman was pregnant? You hear her sister saying that. Why not call your supervisor according to the update for
because
the
because their whole purpose of going in there was, we're detaining you, we're not arresting you. You get
okay.
what I'm saying? Their whole purpose was detaining. Once they started swinging and stuff, that made things escalate quickly. So let me ask you this,
But my question is, you say once they started swinging, right? But
because when you,
in
okay, go
in the
on.
beginning, you only see the one chick that's already in handcuffs. She's the one that's creating all of that drama. The other white chick is standing back on her phone, trying to call her family. So
Now that's okay. That's a very good point. But the
mhm.
bottom line is, when they got the call for Walmart, the call was the two women who are basically attacking the
um,
girls at Walmart, and pepper spray. The key word there was the pepper spraying. So
Actually, when
Now,
they got actually on their logs, it says that there was a fight in Walmart.
yes, with pepper spray.
Right, right.
Pepper
It
spray was
never
used.
stated two women. It said there was a fight.
That's true. I give you that. They did say
So,
it was.
so
They
if
did
it's a
say it was
fight,
women.
all parties are held responsible in it.
Now,
So,
if you want to try and say, "Hey, it was the race car because they was black because they saw the two women that they arrested," okay, I can give you that because I can see it was wrong that they um handcuffed the two black women. But at the end of the day, what's your recourse as a person if you feel you're being detained or arrested in an unlawful way? Basically, comply
well,
with it, whatever. Because, like I
mhm,
said, and even if they took them down to the station, do you know what? Like for a situation like that, most you're getting is a citation.
mhm,
You're not doing time or nothing like that or whatever. You're getting a citation.
mhm.
So at the end of the day, I understand the part where you can say, hey, it could be racially motivated because they only arrested the two black women. But once they said they were being detained, we're just gonna take you down to the car, whatever, ask you a couple questions or whatever. I don't see what the issue was to just, hey, I'm gonna play my part, whatever, and guess what? I'm gonna have a fat check at the end of this because I'm getting all of y'all badge numbers.
I'm. I mean, look. At the end of the day, I hear what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and what's actually funny. I wanted to address that too. Pepper spray is perfectly legal in New York, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all know that, right? You know what the determining factor is for a person to legally use pepper spray in the
Okay.
state of New York?
No, I don't.
If they feel that their life is threatened. In the video, you can hear the woman say they threaten her sister or they try to jump her sister.
Correction. They said 2 days ago they jumped my sister.
Hmm.
So if you didn't call the police at that point and you wanted to take it to the streets, why would you do that in Walmart in a public place?
That is true. That is
Why would
true.
you do that? If you're gonna keep it in the streets, keep it in the streets. Why would you do it in a public place where you know, number one, your skin color is a strike against you for one,
Hmm.
and you know once police show up, who are they gonna look at? You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was not a smart move on their part, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, I can understand where some people could say, hey, it was aggressive force or whatever the case may be, but I have to disagree because the minute they started resisting and stuff, you basically gave them a license to do whatever.
Really? Okay. So let me ask you a question, right? So if let's say you were hypothetically in their situation, right? You were inside Walmart, right?
Yeah.
And and two white people walk up to you, they start arguing with you or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And cops show up, they arrest you, and then one cop arrests you, the other cop goes towards your wife and then slams her on the ground. Are you not gonna put up a fight to try to get to your
Me
wife?
personally, since I know I got a strike against me, I'm gonna think strategically. I'm gonna
No,
look
let's
at the
say
bigger picture.
let's say you don't
But
have no
but I'm
strikes.
but I'm just saying, even with no strike, we're living in a time now where people should be aware of their actions. That's cops and regular people. So you
Mhm.
should have the wherewithal to say to yourself, look, if this goes down and I know I'm in the right, I'm gonna play my part because this is gonna have me set for life. You get what I'm saying? There's methods to the like, yo, it's so much people that are quote unquote woke now and having the intelligence to go about handling business.
Mhm.
Yo, there's no excuse for it. Like in my opinion, there's no excuse for it. So I've had situations where I took the higher road. I remember when I got pulled over with me and my buddies in the car, whatever. So the cop literally pulled us over. And
I
remind
wasn't in that car.
no, this was like way before, like, all this social awareness of cop
Yeah.
and police. Like, you knew it was out there, but it wasn't like how it is now. We're talking back in like 2006, 2007, around
Mhm.
that time. So we're in East Orange, and anybody know if you're in East Orange, if you driving in East Orange, New Jersey, and you driving dirty, don't do it because they pulling you over. So I'm driving, blasting music, whatever, got a little system in the car. stop at a light. Mind you, we got our seatbelts on, but my boy, he's tatted up and everything, shirtless. So you know the stereotype right there. So the
Mm-hmm.
cop pulls us over. He pulls us over, or whatever. Yeah, let me see your paperwork just to see if everything was legit. Everything come back clean. So he's like, all right, yeah, you guys, y'all did a turn on red. Remind you, we was at the light. He told us to turn to pull over. Y'all did a turn on red, but well, since I see you're a CDL, since I see you got a CDL, I'm gonna cut you a break. I'm gonna slap both of y'all with seatbelt tickets. Remind you, we had seatbelts on. Me and my boy Mooch, we looked at each other. We looked down at our seatbelts, and we was like, "All right, officer, thank you. Give me the ticket." You get what I'm saying?
So,
So
so
yes,
you
wait. So
you
you get what I'm saying? Now, if I was, yo, I got my seatbelt on. What you doing? Whatever. Now, basically, he got the reaction that he wanted. Step out your vehicle, sir.
mm,
You get what
I
I'm
see what
saying?
you're saying.
There's smart ways about going about it. And
Yeah.
it sucks that we gotta live like that to, comply.
Mm,
But you know the rules. It is what it is. What's crazy is people can people can conform when it comes to getting a job, but you can't conform when it comes to a person who literally have your life in their hands. That doesn't compute. Because you go into a job interview, all of a sudden now you can speak proper English and cordial, dress nice, no sagging. But a cop who has his life in your hand, you want to go against the grain. How does that compute?
I mean, but the thing about it is you have cases where it's a situation where you're worried about somebody else's life.
You said say that again.
You have cases where you have a situation where you're worried about somebody else's life in that moment, so you're trying to, protect them when the cops come.
I get it. I trust me. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that by all means. But what I'm saying is, with the knowledge that we have today,
Hmm.
it would be it would be best to step back and kind of process what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Like that. That's all I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, man, the laws and stuff wasn't made for us. Like it wasn't. It wasn't made for blacks. You get
That's
what
a
I'm
fact.
saying? So that's
That's a
why I'm
fact.
saying like and we like no front. We do ourselves a disservice as a
Hmm.
black community or whatever. So that's why you get what I'm saying. We don't get the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, what like don't give the cop any kind of leeway for them to get aggressive with you.
But then again, you have the it's been cases where black people have complied and got shot before.
Oh yeah,
Completely complied. Like even the what was it, Fruitvale Station in New York?
yeah,
They
yeah,
had the case where they arrested. It was a whole fight on the train. They
yeah.
arrested them six. I think it was six of them, right?
Hmm.
Yes, six of them, six of the young black guys who were involved, and they were already on the ground, and they let loose with their firearms.
See,
Oh, there's another thing I wanted to point out too.
yeah.
The officer had his taser on her
You said,
when he,
but he didn't use it.
right, but he still had his taser out. Why resort to violence when you have your taser?
So you saying that punching? So you saying he should have tased her instead of
He
punched
should
her?
have tased her. Exactly.
You don't think tasing her would have been worse?
No, because it's a temporary stun. What he did there, this punch right here. If I punch you right here, you have the risk of dying.
You do, but did she die? That's the question.
that's
You giving me
that's
what if scenarios? You get what I'm saying? Did she die? It
but
could
had
have
she
been worse.
exactly with the taser, it's a temporary stun, and it would she would have her movements would have been slowed down, and he would have been able to gain more control. And his taser was technically already drawn.
That okay? That's true. That can
Why
be
not?
valid.
Why not exercise? Because in police handbook it says the next step, when they're resisting arrest, if possible, is to use the taser.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing that I
So
love
why not follow your police
because
handbook
here's the thing.
and your training?
This is the thing that I love. Whatever. And don't get me wrong. Like I appreciate our cops and everything like that, but I'm not a person who's like a fan of, you know, calling the cops if something happened. I'll do it if I have to. So don't take this as, yo, he's you know, fighting for the cops and violent. No, I know they do play their role, but at the end of the day, we make it seem like since police have their training, which we have assumptions on their training, we assume like since we watch movies and everything like that, that cops are supposed to be flawless in their actions. Even the skilled boxers, when they're under pressure, who's been training for years, when stuff hit the fan, sometimes that training go out the window. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
we're not perfect. We're not perfect people. So put it like this: if you and your woman, right, are arguing and y'all real heated in a heated debate, if she catch you on the right day where while you're in the middle of talking and she smack you, you might clap back and hit her and be like, oh snap, what did I do? In your mind it tell you, yo, don't hit women or whatever. But if you catch the person on the right day with whatever amount of training, whatever the case may be, guess what, it can happen.
Unless you
You get what I'm
Christian.
saying? Yeah.
Unless you Christian.
Yeah.
No, but I feel what you're saying. So you basically going back to hey, yo, what up, Strategic? He just came in the chat.
What's going on,
Basically going
Strategic?
back to what Strategic said the other day, though, that
Uh-huh.
the police are so underfunded that they don't have the proper training.
But what I'm saying is, even with training, you still can have a lapse because you're human. We're making it seem like everybody is like who has training is infallible. Even doctors who are the best surgeons, they mess up when they go under the like put somebody under the knife. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. And we're talking about a situation where a woman is hostile against you, kicking the whole nine, and you don't put a hand on her, right? And then she goes to bite you. Not to mention all the people behind you, because if we look further in the video, after he tackled her to the ground, whatever, you saw like people behind her striking the officer, whatever. And he was like, "Yo, back off." That could have even went like in the wrong direction. You get what I'm saying? So soon as he tried to bite her, automatic reaction was boom. And again, oops, I always have problems with this. But again, if you go that right route, you give the license for the officer to act the way that is necessary.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't know. The Strategic. I know Strategic probably has a view or whatever. Strategic, you should call in, bro.
Yeah, I'll put the
You should
number in.
call in.
If you just want to call in and give his point of view, he can. There's the number right there, brother.
But my point of it is, and I
Uh-huh.
understand where you're coming from, that the situation or whatever. But his taser was already drawn, right? While she was still resisting to a degree.
You're talking about the woman in white?
No, the black woman.
See, I don't remember seeing him having the taser out when he was holding her.
Yeah, he had it.
Okay.
He had it.
But even so, taser or punch, what's the difference? Whichever way he took, it still was going to be looked upon as he used aggressive force.
I feel as though the taser wouldn't have been as aggressive as that punch, to be honest. Because and I see the comments when they be like, "Oh yeah, there's been people that die from tasers or whatever," but that's excessive tasing. A temporary stun taser, it stings for a little bit, and then you
You've
know.
been tased before?
I have been tased before.
Okay, yeah, I never have, so I can't really comment on that. But I'll tell you this: notice how soon as he rocked her, all that wilding out and everything is stopped.
He almost killed. Did you see that punch? He hit her with the Superman.
He
Woo!
had almost kill him. he
He
had almost kill her.
hit her with the Mortal Kombat.
Now, here's the thing. Your argument for the woman in white that was pregnant, I can probably give you that because
that is expensive.
she was pregnant, whatever, and I don't know what the rules are when it comes to like dealing with pregnant women. Maybe
But I know it's not to lay on them and keep your hand pressed above their stomach area. I know it's not that.
Yeah, you could definitely have a fair point because even when you played it black, I played it back. I didn't see that. I didn't pay attention to that key point where he was pressing on her stomach as he was laying down. So that's why I'm like I can kind of give you that with the woman in white, but the other woman I can't. Strategic just said you have to be at least 5 feet away to use a taser because if you're too close, it's not effective.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you see what I'm saying?
okay.
So yeah, so what is all right? So you guys in the comment, what do y'all think? Who do y'all think made a better compelling argument as far as did the cop use excessive force? And we'll definitely see if we have an expert come on later to give his analysis on it.
I would love my man's to like, hop
Yeah.
on,
Uh,
but he gotta serve and
Yeah.
protect.
And if anybody want to call in and voice their opinion, hey, the phone lines is open, so definitely call in and state your opinion on the matter. Like, hey, it'll be welcomed. And definitely don't forget to hit that like button. And for those who aren't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. I'll appreciate it. All right.
For sure, for sure. But
So
one thing that's interesting though is that the the police department, they put the one guy on paid suspension, and
yeah,
the other guy, I think the one. Let me just
with
read
the
it.
with the one that was handling the pregnant woman
Yeah, he's completely. I believe he's
suspended.
completely suspended without pay. So
Mhm.
if you look at it there, NYPD knows that they're about to have a lawsuit in that situation.
Because I'm trying to see like what was the outcome. But yeah, I see. I don't know if I know the one guy was definitely suspended with pay. But like I said, I wasn't even really paying attention. Like I didn't really like worry about if the other guy wasn't suspended either because like I missed that key point that you pointed out that he was on the woman's stomach. So yeah, I can't front. I got to give you that. That was something like I totally missed. But
Yeah.
with that being said, man, like I understand in the heat of the moment that
Mhm.
you
I
can act
mean,
irate and everything like that. But yeah, man, we got to have a better head on our shoulders, man. Because
that's a fact. That's a
it's
fact.
like
But you
if
got
they if no, go on, go ahead. Say
if
what
you
you
got to
gonna say.
understand though, like if it was a situation where I know that my wife or my sister is pregnant and an
Mm-hmm.
officer is pressing on her,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm sorry, strategic, yeah, not NYPD. It was a
Okay.
DeWitty, yeah,
Okay.
DeWitty police, yeah.
Okay.
I don't even DeWitty, DeWitt. I can't pronounce it.
We get the gist of what you're saying.
But anyway, yeah. If I'm put in a situation like that, of course I'm gonna try to help my wife or my sister. That's just because they're pregnant.
All
I'm
right.
thinking about the child, like
So check this out. Right?
mhm,
Your wife is pregnant and you got your son around, right? So cops are
mhm.
detaining you and you feel you're in the wrong. So now you go act out. Now you get shot and killed. How did you help them? You just made their situation worse. Granted, they can probably look to file a lawsuit or whatever and get money, but that's not going to fill that void of those kids' biological father.
That is
They
true.
witness get killed.
That is true. That is
You know what
true.
I'm saying? So I hear that. Don't get me wrong. The person's automatic reaction is, "Yo,
Hmm.
I'm gonna wild out and everything." But think about the consequences if it don't go in your favor.
That is 100% true, and
You know
I
what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but I'm just saying human nature
Oh
in
yeah.
general. In general, our first reaction is not to sit there and be logical about it. You know what I'm saying? Our
See,
our first
no, go on.
like because look, most of the time, and I'm pretty sure strategic can agree with me. Anytime he's doing an arrest, it's the person is very emotional and fighting back. You know what I'm saying?
I
Well,
could
for
understand.
whatever is,
I could understand a person being emotional and fighting back or whatever if you're innocent. But if you guilty, dog, what are you fighting back for? Yo, you get like, yo, you made your bed, now lay in it.
yeah, and that's a situation where she
You know what I'm
said
saying?
where she did let the officer cuff her with no problem though. You
Yes,
know what I'm
she did.
saying?
I gotta give her that. She did. It wasn't until when they went after her pregnant sister or whatever that then she
And
started wilding out.
Right. I feel as though officer was already escorting her out, right?
Yes.
And the chick in white was following her with the kids or whatever. There was no reason for, like I said before, there was no reason for his partner to go try to detain the pregnant woman.
Mm-hmm.
They should have escorted the other chick out because she was the whole commotion. Sat her in the car like they planned to, like you said, detain and have a conversation, and that whole situation could have been avoided.
But here's my question though. Why does being detained have to equate to wilding out?
You know, I don't
Because
see.
like I said, especially in a situation like that where the most you're getting is a citation. Now you
Mhm,
just turned it into a criminal matter.
mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and black folks, we know the law. Like, whenever you do something, somebody will jump out. Don't do that. That's 5 to 10. You get what I'm saying? Like, like black folks, like we know the law. Like,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
we like it's like ingrained. Like, for black folks, they're afraid of police officers. Well,
Mhm.
police. But yeah, man, like you're being detained. So like, why? That's what I'm saying. Why let it escalate? And the point that I wanted to push back on you on is that you said, your emotions and everything, sometimes you'll act irrational and everything like that. But you got people who, like, to me, I see it as it's a choice to act irrational. Not in all
Mhm.
cases, not in all cases, but sometimes, like when it comes to certain situations,
Mhm.
people choose to, start wilding out. Like they
Shatina,
choose to because they feel privileged, like, oh, you just doing it because I'm black or whatever the case may be. And that's a lot of things in a lot of cases, like it's the race card always comes up. Not saying like I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but
mhm,
when it gets to a point that you're always crying wolf, it starts
mhm.
to kind of fall on deaf ears. And not only that, with everybody having video cameras and everything like that, let the video or the footage speaks for itself. I guess my thing is I'm just pretty much saying, go about it in a smarter way because you taking actions into your own hands is only making the situation worse. And we have the knowledge to know, the more I press on or the more I resist, the more worse it's gonna get for me. No matter how you slice it, it's gonna get worse for me.
That's 100%. Now, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I agree with
Now,
that statement. I
yeah.
agree with that statement. However, I don't believe that the police should use excessive violence of that nature. I mean, okay, I'm pretty sure Strategic has had cases where people have tried to bite him or whatever or kick him.
Hmm.
But and even other officers, there actually was there a famous case, can't remember off the top of my head, but I know that as a police officer, the way you're trained, you're trained to expect violence towards you or resistance when you're arresting somebody.
Hmm.
So and I'm pretty sure that officer had. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of my point and he just threw me off.
Yeah, yeah. But like you said, here's the
That's
thing,
how they
right?
train you,
But
Strategic.
but
That's
here's
how
the
they
thing.
train you.
But listen to what you're saying, Ray. You're saying that people like human nature, right?
Uh-huh.
People will wild out, whatever, or act out when they feel like, when they're being detained, whatever. But nobody has acknowledged the human element when it comes to the police who is dealing with the person that is the aggressor when they're trying to detain them.
That is 100%
You
right.
know what I'm saying? It's
There's a
always
human
looked
element.
upon as a one-way street. And like I said, everybody go with the basis that just because you're a professional, that you're supposed to be flawless. That's like saying, yo, since I got my CDL, I should never get a ticket. That's
But
BS.
but my thing is though, right? My thing is another thing too. This is a male officer, right?
Hmm.
This is a whole man, and for him to punch a woman just like that, I think that's definitely a crime against against women. I feel
I'm not trying to make no like bad mouth women or whatever, but yo, it is what it is. The reason why I say that is because whenever a woman attack a man, it's always looked upon, oh, he's a man, he should accept it. I always point to what's her name, Solange and Jay-Z in the elevator. Everybody talks about, yo, Jay-Z handled that like a man. Big ups to him. Nobody's talking about her actions. Nobody held her accountable for her actions. So I don't, I really, sorry, I really don't want to hear that when it's, oh, he's a whole man, she's a woman. Then if that's if that's the think process, she should have known that's a whole man. I shouldn't have tried to bite him. You
I
got to
hear
look
you
at
there.
both sides of the coin, man. You got to look at both sides of the coin.
I respect both sides of the coin, but part of that video, he was lifting her out of there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah. He was lifting her out, so he's definitely way stronger than her.
He is.
So for him to to resort to that particular moment of violence,
yeah,
I don't think it was called for, because he could clearly push her forward and that whole situation be avoided, because he had his hands on the handcuffs. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was, yeah, it was. But if a person is kicking and screaming, if you if you tie my hands behind my back and I'm kicking and screaming, you think you really gonna have full control over me and I'm
Gonna yoke
slamming
you up.
everywhere? You okay?
I'm gonna shake you a bit. I ain't gonna hit you, but I'm gonna shake you.
Okay, so if he hemmed her up, you're basically saying what your reaction would have been. What's the difference in what you did?
Okay, but my reaction is different though. My reaction is I'm gonna shake you because I have full control of your hands is already behind your back, right? I have full control of your upper body at that point, because your hands is basically like this, like behind. You can't see
Do
me
you
right
want
now,
me to
but
play the clip again when how she was kicking? There's absolutely no way he was gonna be able to control her. I don't see it, man.
so
I
why not put her to the ground? Why not put her to the ground though? If, at that point when she started kicking, why not put her face down on the ground
You want to
like
know why? You
like
want to
the other?
know why? I'm gonna show you why.
Play the clip.
I am. I'm gonna show you why.
Play the clip.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
He had his taser.
Yeah,
Look,
in
pause
case the
that.
other people come around. He had the taser in place in case anybody, try and basically stifle what he's
Yeah,
trying to do with detaining her.
I'll give you that. He was surrounded.
Y'all making sure she
See, hold up. Pause that.
Yeah,
Pause that. Pause that. Pause that.
I did.
Pause that.
I
You see
did.
that situation right there? He had her on the ground. He could have told her,
Okay.
"Hey, calm down." He could have He could have held her on the ground until she calmed down.
Okay, let's continue watching.
Look, she's not moving. She's not moving until he alleviates pressure. Look, he alleviates pressure. That's when she's able to move.
She's still kicking and everything like that.
Right, but my thing is, she's unable to move because of the position that he's holding her in. He could have held that position. It's a perfectly safe lock until she calmed down, or until
But
backup arrived. He could have
but
called for backup at that
but
point.
Ray, she didn't calm down till he cold cocked her.
But my thing is,
Look, and that's when he tossed her because she was finding a way. She was finding a way to twist. You seen that?
but that's because he relieved the pressure in that exact moment when his partner came over. Look, you see his knee? His knee backed off of her. That
Yes.
relieved the pressure. That allowed her to move.
Yes, but do you see that like he had to adjust himself so that he can actually pick her up? And the minute that she saw that, hey, I got a little bit of leeway, that's when she started kicking and everything like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right. But my thing is, he should have held her there, called for backup, which is standard procedure when you're surrounded by a group of individuals. Call for backup, and hold down until backup came, and then safely escorted them out of the mall or whatever, or not the Walmart. I'm sorry.
Look, man, as much as you make it sound so easy, I always see it take 100 cops to escort somebody out of the building or whatever. But like I said, regardless, whatever the case may be, the way she was acting, she invited that aggression.
I'll give you that. She did
She
invite that
invited
aggression.
that aggression.
She did
Invited
invite
that.
aggression. But can we agree that the officer with the white, with the chick
Yes,
in the
I
white,
said that. I said the pregnant woman. I give you that. That's why you saw. I'm like, yo, I don't know what the ins and outs is with the rule. So I said, yo, I can give you the pregnant woman. But I said, but the other woman, I can't give you that.
I'll give you that. The other woman
Yeah.
definitely, she didn't deserve the punch. You know, I would have
See,
I would have swung her a little bit, shake her a bit if I was a cop. She didn't deserve no Superman punch
I'm
in her
sorry,
life
man.
though.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me see. Tia said, Ray, do you think the woman could have handled the situation differently so this could have been avoided? You're not holding them accountable.
No, I'm holding them accountable. I'm saying the chick that did the pepper spray in the beginning, she's definitely accountable for that. You know, because that's definitely her engage starting the fight and assault technically. You know,
What I will say about the woman in white though is that initially the cop walked right past her and went to
right?
the woman who was pepper spraying. So as he
Exactly.
was walking out, then they went to the woman in white. You should have detained her before, like,
Or
you get what I'm saying, instead of walking past her. So that's why I'm like, I'm giving you the woman in white. Like that,
and and
I can
and
give you.
and and she was right behind her sister, walking out to follow them to the police car where they said they were taking her to detain. You know, it was literally you have when you look at it, it's literally the moment the partner went to try to go put her in handcuffs, and because she was pregnant, you know, that's when the whole fighting back thing started.
I get it,
Other,
but
other I know,
still, she
no,
invited it.
she did invite.
Yeah,
I would say she did invite some form of violence, but not that form of violence.
we disagree, man, because the minute she started, like, she was kicking for like a good 2-3 minutes, man. So it's like, yo,
I
he
mean,
was
I
like,
mean,
all
I
right.
mean, I would have slammed her on the ground or something, but not that Superman punch.
He did slam her on the ground, and clearly it didn't work. She went to bite him.
He slammed her on the ground, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
when he
and then
tried to turn her over, it didn't work.
and then he slammed her on the ground and picked her up.
And then she went to bite him, and
Right
she was still what you called it. And then when she went to bite her, he was like, all right,
when he
I got
slammed
flashbacks of
when he
Mike Tyson real quick, and
when he slammed her on the ground, he should have held her on the ground at that point. Listen. If you want to let's
oh,
let's say
go on.
hypothetically, if you in a fight, right,
Yeah,
and you slam a person on the ground, are you letting that person get back up?
that's in a fight.
Same scenario.
We're talking about police who are detaining somebody and trying to bring them
Okay,
in.
okay, it's still the same
Because here's the
scenario.
thing: if we're in a fight, I'm not trying to get you into custody. It's just, yo, until you can't get back up, whatever. That's when
Okay,
all
but
bets are.
but using that logic, right? Until you
Mhm.
can't get back up. If I slam you on the ground, oh Vic.
Yeah.
If I slam you on the if I slam you on the ground, right, and you're already in a position where you can't really get back up, and if I alleviate some pressure on a certain hold, I'm holding you down.
That's if
Why
it
not?
was in that's if it was in a choke position. Here's my thing with the situation.
Hmm.
You can't come to me as the aggressor, and then when I retaliate, you tell me my retaliation was too harsh. How does that work? You get what you come to, like I always say, you come to rob my house with a bat, and I pull out a gun with you. I pull out a gun, and you're like, "Yo, you took it too far." How does that work? That don't compute. You shouldn't have came aggressive from the jump, and it would have never escalated to that point.
I completely understand what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? So, All right, so we'll touch this back up when strategic call in or whatever. All right, so since like I said, we don't do justice to ourselves in the black community.
Oh, strategic said he tried to call.
He did. Hold
Yeah,
on, let me see something.
Is the calls?
Oh yeah, hold on. Hold on, Strategic. I think I gotta turn the phone lines on.
This man right
Yeah.
here got my
All right,
boy on the waiting
I
list.
got the phone lines on, so I guess try and give another call to the number on the screen, the 862-205-5462. Yeah, try calling again, whatever, because it should come in or whatever. But yeah, the question I have to you is, as far as like the black community, the way. Hold on, you got a bit. You have to.
Yo, his comments have no mercy for this lady. Like, yo, but what if that was your mom or your grandma? Would you be all right with that? Let's just ask this question. Let's ask this question. Y'all all in the comments so hype right now about this lady getting punched. But what would happen if that was your mom or grandma?
All right, that's strategic. That's strategic right there. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Yo, listen, IAB. I am just talking to friends, IAB. Here's the rules to speak to people on the phone while you listen, IAB. Right? Jesus Christ.
Yo, that's a
That's
constant
funny,
night.
especially with black, with black sheep. With black sheep, he'll throw you under the bus.
Yeah, he would. Man, listen. I worry about black sheepdogs. You ever heard of the term? Keep your enemies close.
Yeah. Facts, man.
Your friends closer, your enemies closer. I think that's the easiest for me.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Really good discussion you guys having today.
Thanks.
I didn't call up to do what I usually do and run my gums and take over.
Nah, knock yourself out, because I would love to hear your analysis.
I want to answer your question, because I did a video on this topic, and it's more nuanced than we like to think. It's not that simple, and I think I think you guys are bringing up good points about whether she's a female and pregnancy, and a lot of that doesn't really matter. But ask your questions, and I'll definitely fill you in on what the policies for use of force is, the general policies, because every single department has their own nuance for these policies. But there's like a pretty much acceptable standard for New York. And yeah, so go ahead. Do you think?
Nah, go ahead.
What's the standard policy in New York for handling pregnancy, like arresting a pregnant person?
All right, so of course you're not going to sit on somebody's stomach if you get them down. As far as usually those policies doesn't really care about whether you're pregnant or not. There's exceptions like tasers. They really don't want you to use tasers on pregnant people. That's a different policy. That's a manufacturer's policy.
Okay.
So the manufacturer says, don't use these tasers on pregnant women and little kids and old people unless you really have to. So using the taser actually could have gotten him in trouble, because whatever she was doing was not enough that you could articulate. You had to use the taser. If she had a knife in her hand, then that's enough for you to articulate, yo, you know what? That's one of those exigent circumstances where I'm going to use my taser. So he couldn't use the taser on her at that point.
Okay.
But she's not the one that got hit anyway, but whatever she did, she couldn't get the taser used on her at that point because you're not supposed to.
All right. So let me ask you this question. I don't know if you could answer it or not. The woman who was all irate and kicking and screaming, whatever, if that was you, how would you have handled the situation?
All right, so I had a situation I spoke about on my show, so I was half joking in the comment section. I said I punched you in your face.
Yeah.
This guy was actively biting me where he had his teeth on my hand. And
I remember that too.
Who who are not initiated, you look at a bite like a bite. To police, a bite could be a death sentence. When you get bit, you have to go on the AIDS cocktail. You miss like a month of work. You have to get hepatitis shots. I got a tetanus shot and he didn't even break skin. Because you don't know if a person has herpes or something, and now because they bit you, you now have, you know what I'm saying? That's a serious thing. So when this guy had his teeth on my mouth, I did a number of face strikes to get him off of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But this woman, she didn't connect. So I would have probably slammed her, but then that probably could have done more damage than a punch because she's handcuffed.
I get what you're saying.
When you're handcuffed, you can't brace and protect your face. You're falling face flat, you know? So I probably would not have punched her. I most likely would not have punched her. I know myself. I've been in these tense situations, so I don't overreact. It's not like, oh, it's my first time. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been through it in corrections, and now I've been through it in policing. So I still have my head and my wits about me when I'm in these tense situations. I most likely would not have punched her. But I was on the fence in my own video about whether he should have punched her or not, because she was very violent, she was very disruptive, and she tried to bite him. And when I slowed it down, I was like, no, he shouldn't have bite her. But when I watched the slowed down version, rather, but when I watched the actual
video
version where it's going real time, it's like it was almost instantaneous. It's just something very brief, but you can account for that very brief pause with just human nature. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? It's always easy to critique things in hindsight.
Absolutely.
You hear what I'm saying? When things are in real time, everything is so unpredictable.
A lot of times people look at it like, well, she's a woman. Well, that's for civilians to think. We don't get trained on who's a woman and who's not. The only exception I gave you was pregnancy. They do say, try and take care, try and keep that into consideration, because there's an innocent life inside of that person that may be murdering somebody, stabbing somebody, or doing whatever. Try and keep into consideration that whatever that person's doing who's pregnant, there's an innocent life inside of them that should not pay for their actions. Other than that, a woman is, law enforcement is the ultimate equality. There is no sexism when it comes to use of force with women and men. If she acts a certain way, you're entitled to use a certain level of force. That's at the end of it.
Yeah, remember, like,
if you punch me, I'm supposed to punch you right back.
Yeah, that's a fact right there. That's because you saw it with that Miami-Dade situation when the woman got close into the officer in the airport and he cold cocked her. Not saying it was justified, but he was well within his right.
Hey, Wally.
The thing is, like, I didn't like that video, but he wasn't. I think he got terminated.
You're right. I think he got terminated. Yeah, you're right. I think he got terminated. Now, with that scenario, I didn't agree with it, but I think I could be wrong. I believe he got terminated because of the backlash.
Yeah. You know what?
It's all politics, because in the police academy, they teach you to go a level above, and this is another thing that people don't get. Police officers are trained to go a step above whatever you're doing. So if you're going to hands, you're trying to punch me, I can whip out my baton and beat you with the baton. Now, somebody on the outside will say, well, she slapped him, she punched him, why? Or he punched him, he slapped him, why is he using a baton? That's what you're trained to do, at least in New York. You know what I'm saying? If you whip out a knife, now I could bring out a gun.
Oh,
yeah. If you're spitting, I can whip out my pepper spray. If you're actively resisting, like you're flailing your arms and you're not even trying to hit me, I can use my taser. Like they teach you to go a step above whatever that person's doing. That's totally lawful. That's in the manual. That's the way you're supposed to do your job. So if she tried to bite him, he could punch him. This lady comes in his face and is like, what you going to do? And she's cocking back like she's about to hit him. You can go a step above. You look like you about to hit me. So I can now go a step above and actually hit you. That's basic police academy across this country.
Which is why I was saying, why even put yourself in the position to even make it go that way? She should have just walked to the car because you're being detained. And the key word that I looked at was the word detained. not arrested.
Right.
That was the key word for me.
Detained, you could very much walk away from that situation unarrested.
Exactly.
Detained means I'm coming on. Let me explain to you what's in these officers' minds as they come on that scene. The African American women were not the 911 callers. They weren't the complainants. So you're coming on the scene, and the complainants are telling you that these women are the problem. They're telling you that these ladies, I think they pepper spray people, they're trying to fight. I'm not 100% sure whether they did the pepper spraying or whether they were the victims of pepper spray. I don't know. So the 911 caller is saying that these ladies are the problem. So you don't know who's right and who's wrong. What you do see is that they are irate, that they want to fight, they want to start commotion. So detaining means I don't trust you to stand next to me and behave yourself. Detaining means I want to put you in handcuffs, or I want to take you and tell you you can't leave until we figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Once we figure it out, then you will find out what's going on. If he had enough to arrest her at that moment, he would have just said, yo, you under arrest. If the cop is not to tell you you're being detained if he knows you're already under. If you're under, you're under. Put the cuffs on and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Detained literally is like the first time this cop is going to probably ever be honest with you. He's literally telling you, I don't know what's going on. I need to figure it out, but you can't go nowhere. And not every time detained means that you're getting handcuffed. If you're being handcuffed because you're being detained, that means that you're actively displaying behavior at this moment that shows that you're violent and you can't be trusted to just stand around with your hands to your side until we figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a victim is like that. Sometimes you come on the scene and it's, F this, F that.
Yeah.
You got to put him in handcuffs to calm him down. And then you realize he said F this, F that because some random dudes attacked him and beat him up. And now he's just a excitable hood dude that's pissed off he can't retaliate. And then at that point, it's all right. We know you're the victim now. Here's the handcuffs off. Let's get you some medical, and let's try and get some information to find out who victimized you. But how am I supposed to know that? I come on the scene and you kicking over garbage cans.
Yep. And there's the thing. You just answered pretty much answered the question, because the question was, why is it that when they showed up to the scene, they arrested her? When he showed up to the scene, she was the one being aggressive. And even when he went to question her and pull her arm, she started fighting. Oh, get off me, get off. And that was when he was like, you're being detained.
Right. And also add in the fact that the only information the cops have at that moment is from the complainants who called and said she was the problem. Her and her sister was the problem. They said both of them was the problem. They didn't just say the one in the black was the problem. They said the one who was pregnant was the problem too.
Yeah,
so
in the report it did.
You get it. The complainants are telling you both these ladies are the problem, and then you come on the scene and you see both of them acting like a problem. So already your initial investigation is pointing towards them. And that gets us all the time. And I don't mean to change the direction of the conversation.
Yeah.
But I love my people, and I always critique my people because I want us to be better.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets us all the time. See, maybe it's, we don't have a knowledge of how the system works. But we got this machismo, bravado, ultra in my feelings persona.
I agree.
I'm angry. I got to be loud.
I agree.
And other folks, Asians, Caucasians, they know the game. They will antagonize you, and then they'll go, oh my God, I didn't do anything, and be calm and let you act the fool, and now you look like the bad guy when you're actually the victim.
That is a fact.
All the time.
That is a fact.
All the time.
You know what? Until you said that, I actually realized that you're right, because you'll see a white person or Asian person, they're like, they'll mouth off, and the minute the cuffs go on, you don't hear people, whatever, they comply.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So if that officer then have the body cam on and somebody's recording and they just see like the cop is rough with the person, they didn't see all the other stuff that went on in the beginning. They just see the cop roughing this person up. So yeah, like they pretty much knew the strategy or what the end game was. Now
what would the situation be if the cop comes on the scene and the African American ladies are calm, like, listen, officer, when you're ready, please give me an opportunity to tell you my side of the story, because these women are beating up my sister, and this is unfortunate. It'd be a whole lot harder for that cop to decide he want to put cuffs on them out of the blue and punch them in the face and all that extra shit, that stuff is happening because you allow it to happen in the way that you're acting. You're acting unruly. You're basically inviting that kind of energy into your life. But guys, I don't apologize.
Nah, it's cool. Vic, before I let you go, Vic had a question for you. He said, strategic, you think they're using this racial tension in America to act up and get paid?
Who's using it?
I guess
the two women.
The two women. Yeah, I guess he's Yeah, I guess he's talking about the two women.
It's a possibility. I mean, everybody who seems to get in these situations get major paydays. Like the Walmart, the Victoria's Secret Karen victim, she got $100,000.
Here before I don't want to cut you off. I'm gonna let you say your part, but me and Vic was talking earlier today. You know what's crazy is she made $100,000, right? But do you remember that story about that 15-year-old that got burned? Yeah. Like they threw him in a dumpster or whatever and burned it. Yeah, they threw him in a dumpster and something and burned him or whatever. This was like last year. Wow. The family, the family only raised up $10K for him. Yeah, and here's this woman.
This is disgusting. It's a reflection of our society and our culture that people are so eager to donate to these racially motivated causes and not support people who are victims of violence every day in the inner city.
Yeah.
And in this situation, this woman, this retarded Karen woman, did not hurt this sister. Did not do. All she did was make a fool of herself. And don't get me wrong, that sister didn't deserve it. And these things are complicated because that sister was very brash. And, the lady is moving the clothes, and she's like, "Yo, can you get away from me? 6 feet and all that." And that lady didn't like that, and she saw what else. So number one, we don't even know if it's a racial thing, because the lady didn't. The sister didn't say, "Hey, I'm very wary of this corona stuff. Can you please give me 6 feet?" No, that's not how she did it. That's not how she spoke. It was, "Can you get away from me?" This is her own account. This is how she said it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this lady had an attitude, and now they got into whatever they got. I get that, right?
Yep.
I don't think it's these individuals who are like, I'm gonna flip it for me to get this money. I think they're just taking advantage of the atmosphere that allows for it to happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So exploiting the system. Exploiting the system.
Now. Let me start a GoFundMe. I'm going viral. I might as well get some bread off of it.
Yeah, that's why
I don't think they set it up.
That's why she was mad. TikTok took it down, took her video down because she saw somebody else, 2 other people who was getting 3 million, 1 million views, whatever, and she felt some type of way. Like I get where she's coming from, but what about
what's disturbing about that video?
What's that?
This weirdo lady is wilding out, and you just still there antagonizing her. And I'm not one to have sympathy. I don't give a damn. I want them to dox that lady.
Yeah.
Not because it was racial. I just feel she's a piece of shit, and she should lose her job, and she should lose all that stuff because she's a piece of trash.
Yeah.
Treating another human being like that and screaming like a banshee. Because I know mental health when I see it.
Yeah.
That lady once she saw her being recorded, she said in her brain, "I'm gonna pretend the mental health angle so that I could get an excuse for when this goes viral."
Did you know that like she was like her brother is like suffers from what is it, colostrophy or something like that. She suffers from it too.
She suffers from it.
Because I know her brother did, but they never said she did. They never said she did.
I read that she did, and that has nothing to do with mental health. That's having problems.
But what I was saying, I think she was trying to use that as a scapegoat, like when stuff came to surface.
Right.
But yeah, like for me, I never took it as a race issue. I never took it as it was racial. Like that wasn't the thing. The way I looked at it was that she was real white privilege, because soon as the officer stepped on the scene, they attended to her asked the black girl, no medical, nothing, and like,
that was
like,
messed up.
yeah, and like you
Yeah.
said, because I watched your video about it, and the key thing that you
Yeah.
said was, you said, you know, if everything would have went like they would have catered to her and, you know, see if everything was all right, this probably would have been swept under the rug. It wasn't until she saw
they
how
failed her.
they was treating her and how they was exiling her and giving her animosity that she took it to that level.
Yeah.
Right. They failed her most
Yeah.
definitely. They were unprofessional in my eyes. But at the same time, I look at things from 360.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
this lady is wilding out, and you staying there. You know, you're recording it. You know, it just seems like a spectacle at that point.
But Statij, she
It
had
was like
Statij.
it was like a world star.
But
World star.
Statij, she had to get her free
Yeah.
panties, man. Her cool
You look. It was a lingerie type of night.
And I think she was saying, period panties.
American.
I think she was saying
She's
period.
Nigerian American.
Yeah. Wasn't she saying period panties or something in the video?
No, she said
Nah. It's free.
every panty except for the period panties was the.
Oh, okay.
Every panty was in it except for the period panties.
Oh,
okay. She wanted to see the period panties anyway. So I guess she was willing to actually buy the period panties if she liked them.
Oh, okay.
You know, the funny thing is though, I'm gonna be hated for this, but she's a Nigerian American. That's how she identified herself.
Yeah.
I think the Nigerian English accent is so awesome.
Yeah.
She traded in her Nigerian English accent for a Jenny from the Block accent.
Yeah. That's true.
Go back to the motherland, man. Come on, I love that Nigerian.
Yeah.
A lot of people make fun of it. No, it's such an intelligent, you know, English type accent that shows that you know you from the motherland.
It's funny too because I got a friend that's Nigerian, and certain words he can't say. Like if you be like, "Yo, say challenge it," he'll be like, "Challenge it."
Yes,
you feel me?
She traded that thing in, man. She traded that thing in for it. Jenny from the Block.
Yeah. That's hilarious, yo. You right about that, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate.
For me, I'm about to get out of here.
Definitely, I appreciate you calling in and clearing up some from
yeah,
a couple.
Man.
Oh, and will you be going live tonight or?
No, I'm done.
No pop up lives. Oh man, that be that Friday. That be that Friday night sauce, man. But
oh man, I'm sorry. I'm doing this club thing, man. I hate it, bro.
Oh, I feel you. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
You know, just be safe out there, man. You know, NYC is crazy.
Definitely. All right, brother. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Later. Oh, and we're gonna touch on a topic too about a video that you could check it on Strategic Eyes channel. He just posted a video of a little boy being snatched up in broad daylight, trying to be snatched up in broad daylight. Definitely check out that video, man. Like, which is what I wanted to speak to you about, Ray. Like, as far as like, you know, the minority community, which is, you know, Black, Latino, Hispanic, and everything like that. Do you feel like we do a disservice to us for the bad apples that, you know, be just not caring as far as like living their life, you know, committing crimes, selling drugs, and all of these other miscellaneous things?
I gotta say yes. I gotta say we do a disservice to our own communities and our own people because, you know, that think about it this way. If every let me use black people as an example, okay? If every black person got a regular 9-to-5 job, right? Then wasn't into selling no crack cocaine, none of that. Think about how America in general would have no way to portray the black community in that manner of drug dealing. Like the media would have no coverage.
That's true.
No coverage.
That's true.
Except for they would have to switch to the white guy that just massacred a school of children. You know what I'm saying?
See, and no, go on.
You know, and you know what what these youngsters and these people fail to realize that are out here on these streets is, you know, you the streets is always gonna win at the end. Like
Yeah,
it's only one or two ways out, man.
yeah,
Either somebody gonna kill you, or the cops gonna get you. And you know who said this best? What's the name that was uh the biggest drug runner in the American history that was black actually? What's the name? Frank Lucas.
yeah. I was about to say Frank Lucas. Yeah,
Yeah, in his book,
yeah,
he literally says, "Do not follow in my footsteps."
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is the man
See,
that ran New Jersey and a section of New York.
but you know what? That's the thing. That's what these older, drug dealers and stuff knew. They had a code where it's like, yo, even though I'm living this life, as far as the youth goes, I'm trying to guide them to not do these things. Because even when you saw like those old drug dealers, they was, passing out turkeys and doing all this stuff,
Oh,
for the community or
oh,
whatever. You could
oh
see
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. But we definitely do a disservice to us, and that's why we don't get the benefit of the doubt when the boys in blue show up. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like we do such a disservice where we got that crab in the bucket mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, if cats see a brother, starting to get on his feet, whatever, and working a good job, you get hated on. You speak proper English, oh, you talk white. You get what I'm saying? You like we like it's
You know,
crazy.
and I never understood that. So what am I supposed to sound like?
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah.
what
I'm
I'm saying?
basically speaking proper English. You feel me? So,
Exactly,
and
exactly.
needless to say, that's why they're borderline gonna bring back in the stop and frisk in New York.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel
Well,
about how do you feel about that?
I okay. So I'm on the fence. I'm gonna state both reasons why and
Okay.
why not. Why? Yes, I will agree with that because um, you know, there's a lot of people selling crack and all those type of drugs, heroin, especially in
Mhm.
Harlem, Brooklyn, even in Queens and in certain areas, and I think that's a necessary thing when you're dealing with certain areas where you know that these people are selling drugs. Okay, I
Okay.
believe that in those particular areas, you should isolate. Okay, you should really create a task force
Hmm.
in which you absorb exactly who is selling what and what and then frisk those particular individuals.
Okay.
If it was to be brought back, those particular individuals that are handling everything, you get what I'm saying? Those
Hmm.
are the individuals that you keep an eye on, you frisk or whatever. I don't now. As far as the general public go, like an average person, I don't think that um they should be frisked like that because I feel like it's a violation of their privacy and that's humiliating as
I
well.
get it. I get
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Because
I definitely get
I
it.
could just be walking and cop stops me. He's like, "Yo, I got to search you because there's a frisk law," and then you search me and you find nothing. But now everybody done around me because in this day and age, everybody stops and be like, "Oh, the cops are getting somebody,
Yeah, yeah,
world
yeah.
star."
Yep,
You know what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep.
So it's
See,
like
no, go
and,
on.
and you know what that'll lead to eventually? That will lead to a lot more lawsuits to the police departments, and they'll end up taking hits. I promise you. I promise you.
See, for me, I gotta say it gotta like I gotta look at it from two sides of the spectrum. In my current situation now, I can see the need for it,
Hmm.
especially in New York. 96% of the crimes and killings and everything, homicides, is done by blacks and Latinos. Which, for all those watching, that's got that from Strategic Eyes channel, so that's
Wait,
how.
wait, wait. It's some Italians in there too.
I looked up to it, and I looked into it also just to confirm it or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, 90, but it's still 96%. You get from of the population in New York, 96%. That is a lot, brother. That's a
Hmm.
lot. So, with that being said, do I see it as something that will violate people's rights? Yeah. But do I think it will kind of like keep the streets safer and like put people make people think twice about walking around dirty? Possibly.
Not
But
really.
even with the stop and frisk though, it's not going to stop, you know, like stop somebody trying to kidnap a kid in broad daylight. It's not going to stop that.
No.
But if I was a person who was a millionaire
Hmm.
and I saw, stuff like that coming into my community where I saw crime and stuff coming up, then I might be a person that's going to lobby for it because I'm looking at it as this ain't affecting me. I know I don't have a, I know I'm not doing nothing, negative, whatever. I
Hmm.
got bodyguards for that. You get what I'm saying? So it all depends on what side of the spectrum you're coming from. So those who ask for it, I can see where they're coming from. Do I think it's right? Absolutely not. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I look at it or whatever. Yes, it's not right, but the call for it, I can see their point of view on those that call for it.
I like I said, honestly, I think if you're just doing stop and frisk on a general public,
Hmm.
no. But if you're targeting key players that you know
Yeah,
for a re, for a specific reason are selling crack, cocaine, or whatever, or they're running the show, then yeah, those guys, those are the ones you stop and frisk.
but here's the thing. Let me ask you this: even though if you have a task force to do that, whatever, you're talking like, for instance, a city like Manhattan.
Hmm.
How are you going to be able to, depict who's doing what? It
Oh,
got
but
to be
that
randomized. You
but
get what
but
I'm
my
saying?
but my thing is the police should already have a statistics data or
I get
data
what you're saying. I get what you're
to
saying. People on their
showing,
radar.
not even that, showing where where the hot blocks, where these drugs is being sold at, because even over here in New Jersey in Newark,
Hmm.
they have they have blocks
Yeah.
that are marked as hot blocks where they sell drugs.
So in other words, if you're saying between sixth and seventh they sell drugs, but then down the street, seventh and eighth, it's nothing there. Don't do stop and frisk there, but just like keep an eye on sixth and seventh.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
Target the area. If you put pressure on the area where it's happening, then they're gonna get the message. They're eventually gonna get the message.
Strategic said stop and frisk is against the Constitution. Vic said I don't like it either. You're right. I
Hmm.
don't like it. But all I'm saying is those people who feel threatened, I can see where they're coming from with that ideology. With that
Hmm.
ideology, that's what I'm saying. I definitely don't. I'm against it, whatever, because it's unconstitutional.
It is a
I
violation
see where they're coming from.
of human rights and privacy. I give you that. It is very
Yeah.
unconstitutional.
All right. So let's go through the comments. Let's see. Did we miss anything or whatever? So I guess we both could scroll through and see if we miss anything. Oh, and again, if anybody wants to call in or be in the show, either text that phone number or call in and voice your opinion because we're all about crowd engagement and everything like that. And please don't forget to hit that like button.
My man's black sheep dog.
Yeah, yeah. What he say?
He said it still will be the fruits of the poisonous tree.
What I'm lost on that one.
Meaning it'll still, even if we do the task force thing, it'll
Oh,
still.
I see. Okay.
Mm,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. Let me see. It was unconstitutional in the way the NYPD was doing it. Yeah, I could definitely agree with that.
mm.
Black Sheepdog say Ray don't justify government violating constitutional rights. Yeah, you're
Listen,
right. It's definitely unconstitutional, man. Like, no
listen,
matter how you slice it.
listen. I'm all for the rights.
I get it, but think about it. If that was you, you was trying to rush to an interview or something like that, or to a job your first day, and they stop and frisk you, and now you late and you lose the job. You're gonna be pissed off, like, yo, this is a stupid rule.
Mm,
Then
yeah,
you might start feeling like, yo, they targeted me, whatever. Like a lot of BS can come with it.
yeah, and then a lot of lawsuits would definitely develop from that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of racial lawsuits.
Terry
Oh,
versus Terry versus Ohio made it constitutional. I gotta look into that.
you
I
know
definitely have to
what?
look into that.
Let us see what that says. Give me a minute.
Terry versus Ohio. Yeah, definitely look into that. Definitely look into that. But yeah, man, like we're in a sad state when you got people trying to kidnap kids in broad daylight. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry, something has to be psychologically wrong with that individual
First
to
of all, I just want to say strategic. If that had been my child, I would have killed that man. I'd have went to jail that day. That'd have
yeah.
been.
And you know what? Like that's a situation where even like the public would have probably looked at it as, yo, you are justified for doing what you do. Now, you definitely will do some time probably for it, but as far as the public, they would definitely like see where you're coming from with
You
that.
know what? Is it possible to play just the beginning part? I just want them to see the audacity. Just play the beginning part of
Nah,
it.
if y'all want to see it, check out Strategic Eyes channel.
Oh
Definitely,
yeah, oh yeah. All right. Put the link in the
definitely check out.
description for them.
As soon as you go in there, it's gonna be right. It's gonna like it's right there in front of you. Like it's right there. The first video because he recently posted. So yeah, definitely check it out because it's disturbing, man. How in broad daylight somebody tried to do that. And you know what I liked about like you saw the other people in the community too, like run into the car to try and apprehend them. You know what I'm saying? Like run and try and apprehend them. So I kudos to them for doing that. Definitely. Did you find out about the Ohio? About the Terry
So
versus Ohio?
So the U.S. Supreme Court decision issued on June 10th, 1968, which held that police encounters known as stop and frisk, in which members of the public are stopped for questioning and patted down for weapons and drugs without probable cause, do not necessarily violate the Fourth Amendment's prohibition or reason unreasonable searches and seizures.
Oh, okay.
The Fourth Amendment states the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, or effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued, but upon probable cause, supported by the oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized.
Okay.
So, in a nutshell, basically, if an officer has probable cause or reason to suspect that you're hiding something in your left pocket, he could say, "Hey, I think you're hiding drugs in your left pocket. I need to search you."
Yeah. Yeah, that's very
And
unconstitutional, man.
yeah, so it's not against the Constitution though.
You said
That
it's not okay.
it's not
Well,
it's not because you're given the cause of why.
but that if they see something, but just randomly picking somebody and you don't see anything that justify the search,
Right,
that
right, right.
it becomes unconstitutional. But yeah, if you like, if you see a print of a gun like in somebody's pocket, then of course. Shout out to Nene. Nene's in the building.
Nay,
So
nay.
thanks for coming into the live. But yeah, man, I think we gonna wrap it up, man. Cause I covered my points. I think I took the 1W, you took the 1W for the pregnant woman, so that's kind of evened out right there. So that means we gotta have a tiebreaker. So we're gonna set up a debate on another topic in the next couple of days. Definitely.
You know what? I got the perfect topic. We're gonna do this right now. Who you
Oh, you
think
want
gonna win the finals? The
to?
Suns or the Bucks?
Oh, you want to take it to sports? Suns or the Bucks? Being the fact that they came back, I really don't know, man. I want Suns to take it, but it's looking like Bucks bounced back, man. They're looking like their confidence is rocky right now. The Suns.
Nah, I got faith in them, bro. My fan duel has faith in them. Put it that way.
We gonna see. We gonna see. So I guess we'll know when the finals come to an end.
That's facts,
Who
and
took the tiebreaker?
and we'll definitely have a special sports edition for that.
Yes, we'll definitely have a live sports edition for that. All right, everybody. I thank you for participating in this live. It's been fun. You know, we going on almost 2 hours, whatever. I know it's Friday night. Some of y'all going to party. You know, strategic's gonna be in the club. You get what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys for, you know, engaging. Thank you, Strategic, for the call in.
Yeah, man.
Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. We appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Hold up.
What time is it? I woke up, soaked from a bad dream. I've been sweating like crazy. Got up, skin stuck to the veggies. Open window for a cold breeze. I have nothing to eat.